Now let's get into the CSS selectors. We have already discussed that styles can be applied to HTML elements in multiple ways using the element name or tag name, using IDs of the element, or using the class name. The declarations are fundamental part of the CSS because they apply a style to a selected element. A selector is used to target the specific HTML element or elements that have to be styled with help of declarations. So first we are going to see type selector. When the style are applied to element using their tag names, then it is known as the type selector or element selector. So let's see an example where the style is applied to the paragraph, p tag of the HTML document. So the above style will be applied to all the p tags in the page.
Next comes universal selector. The universal selectors are used when any styles need to be applied to all the elements in the HTML document. The star symbol denotes the universal selector. This is an example of universal selector. The red color border is applied at the style to all the elements in the HTML document. Yeah, let us see some examples of type selector and universal selector in the code. So this is the example for type selector where P is the tag name or element name which is used to give styles. So this is the type selector, and here star is there, which is nothing but the indicator of universal selector. The border red will be applied to all the elements of this HTML documents. Let's check it. Yeah, you can see in the H1 inline style is applied where the color is given as red, and for all the p tags the style is applied here. The text color is given as blue and the alignment is center and the background color is given as pink. So this is applied for both the p tags in the document, and the universal selector indicates the border to all the elements in the HTML document. So separate border is applied to each and every element in the HTML document. So next let us see about the class selector. The class names of the HTML element is used to apply styles in the class selector. This is the most common way to apply style because multiple elements can have same class name, and if the style is applied using the class name, it can be reused. To select the class name for styling, it needs to be prepended with the dot symbol. Example, let us see a code which is having two elements, the header element and the paragraph element. Both elements are different, but they are having the same class name, color. And if the style is applied to the class name, we need to prepare the class name with the dot operator. So dot the class name color, and the style is applied by using the property color, and the value is given as teal. So the text color will be teal for both the header and the paragraph element. Let us see the output. Yes, the header element and the paragraph element contents are having the color, text color as teal.
As same class name can be used to multiple elements, similarly multiple class names can be given to same element. Here look into the example. The header element H1 is having only one class name, that is color, but the paragraph element is having two class name, color and bold. So the separate styles will be applied for color class and bold class, and both the styles will be combined and that will be applied to the paragraph elements content. So let us look into the class selectors in detail. the H1 element is having only one class, that is color. A separate declaration is done for the color class. Similar to that, the paragraph is having two classes, color and bold. A separate style declaration is done for bold, and the color class defines the color and the bold class defines the font weight. Look into the output. The header is having the color that is applied in the class color, but the paragraph is having two features. One is the color, another is the bold. So it is having the combined features of both the classes, color and bold. Next, coming to the ID selectors, the ID of the element is unique. Similarly, when any unique styles has to be applied to the elements, then ID selectors can be used. To select an ID of HTML element, we need to use hashtag by prepending it with the ID of the HTML element. Let us look into the example. Yeah, the H1 is the HTML element which is having both class and the ID. The separate style is applied for the class and the separate style can be applied for the ID also, where the class can be repeatedly used for multiple elements, but the same ID name cannot be used for multiple elements. So let us look into the style of the ID header font, which is prepended with the hashtag, and a unique style, a font family cursive is given only for this particular ID. And the header tag is having two styles now, one applied for the class color. So it is giving the color as the text color as teal, and the header font ID is giving another style, that is cursive, which is making to appear the style of that header in different font style. Comes the attribute selector. If any style is to be applied to values of attributes, then attribute selectors can be used. Let's look into the example. The example is given with help of the image tag. The image tag is having an attribute src where the source path link of the image will be given. So, if any style has to be applied to the image, then how we can apply? We can indicate the attribute name that is having some defined value or any defined value that has to have the following styles. This style, so the image tag with source attribute that contains the name image should have the width and height as 50 pixels. So, the source attribute that contains the name image. So, this same style will be applied for both image 1 and image 2, because we are just giving contains image. So, if there is image 3, that will also have the same style. Let us look into the output. Both the images are having same size because we are applying these styles using the contains attribute. The attribute, if it is containing the name image, then this style will be applied to those attributes. Next comes pseudo class. If different styles has to be applied to the same element in different states, then pseudo class can be used. So consider an example. There is an link, and when I am keeping my mouse over that link, it should appear different, and when I am moving away that mouse, then it should look different. So the same element should look in two different ways in two different states. At that time, this pseudo class can be used. So consider an A tag. So this is a link, and the link will be learn more. So the URL is not given as this is an example. So the learn more will be appearing in the output like this in a blue way. But what should happen when I am keeping my mouse over that? It should appear in different color. So what I am doing is I am applying a style for the A tag, but this style should be applied only when I am hovering that element. So colon hover, what should happen at that time? The color should look orange. So whenever I am hovering the element, it will look in orange color. Let us understand the ID selector, attribute selector and pseudo class with help of this example. Yeah, see the h1 tag that is having both the class and ID attributes. So a separate styles are given for the class color and also for the ID header font. And while defining the style for class, the dot is prepended, and while defining the style for ID, the hash is prepended. So a color property is defined in color class and the font family is defined in the ID style. So this h1 is compiling both the styles applied for the color class and the header font ID. So only the header is alone appearing in different font style in a unique way. And coming to the attribute selector, the attribute here is src, that is having image 1 and image 2. Here the attribute is given, the attribute style is given with contains image. So the style is applied for both the images. So both are appearing in the same size. And coming to the hover property, the hover is applied for the A tag. When you are hovering on the link, it will appear in orange color. So when I am keeping my mouse here, it is appearing in orange color, and when I am taking it away, it's appearing in blue color. Next, coming to the measurement units. These units will be helpful while applying width, height, for defining size of any images, or table width and height, or border size, font size, anything. The unit may be absolute or relative. And usually we apply the units like percentage, centimeter, ex, inches, millimeter, pc, pt and px. Here you can see for the width and height we are using pixels, px as the unit.